everyone, to all of my new plant parents and long-term plant lovers alike. I am here and I am finally in the mood to film a clip for you because honestly, December was rough and I want this channel to be honest, and I think a lot of people are struggling, and my mental health was like in the toilet. And then we got a tiny puppy named Odin here, and he has been all over my Instagram. So if you are not following me, make sure you're following Miss Lindsay M. And he has been bringing us so much joy and happiness that I am finally starting to feel better, so much better that I even started a TikTok, and I am very excited about this TikTok. So check it out, because here where I live, we are back in lockdown. So I don't have much else to do besides maybe make YouTube content, Instagram photos. In fact, that's kind of why I was sitting here, a little Instagram photo shoot, kind of a how it started, how it's going moment with my plants, because these two babies right here are my how it started, and the rest of this is just a fraction of how it's going, especially since last night I made another order and took a wish list plant off of this list. And that's what I'm here to share with you, actually, is my plant wish list. So one that's on here, I already had ordered from Plant Runs last year, and it's coming through. So that's my Pearls and Jade pothos. I also had them pick me up butterwort, something to help with the gnats, the fungus gnats. And then just last night I was able to finally get my hands on nice, well-rooted Manjula pothos. Although this one that I'm going to show you here on screen is truly one of the prettiest ones I've ever seen. I am just glad to have one. Glad to have one of my own. So let's get into the real wish list, because in a way, it's not that long at all. In another way, you will definitely see some similarities between the type of plants that I like. I sort of have a theme, if you will. And yeah, these are all of the plants that I'm hoping to get next. And the first one on the list, since the other ones I've mentioned have technically just been crossed off my wish list, is the ZZ Cream Splash Variegated plant. I mean, I'm going to post some images up here somewhere to show you what I mean, and that is just such a beautiful plant. I obviously love a ZZ plant. I have a ZZ Raven here. I have my other variegated ZZ, but my ZZ Akabono over here, which I'm just discovering I think needs like a little post. Not a pole, not a pole like on my Pink Princess, but just a little post. He's like kind of floppy, and I want him to be like nice and strong. So I think he needs a little post to keep him standing up. But I would love to have sort of a full set, if you will. So I have a lot of regular ZZs. I even have like one with these like sort of smaller leaves. I have two Raven ZZs and the Akabono. So I need a cream splash, and I just can't wait. Now, the next set I'm kind of gonna like lump in together, because in a lot of ways these plants are very, very similar. And honestly, to anyone but a plant addict, they probably would assume these are almost all the same. So we are talking about the Philodendron Rio, the Philodendron Gabby, and the Philodendron Cream Splash. I believe I also, there it is. I also would love to have a silver stripe, So all of those sort of philodendron, I believe they're all created or certainly sold most by Gabriella's Plants. Some of them, I believe the Gabby is the one that you can't get anywhere else. So all of those sort of variegated, very similar to the Brazil, but the Rio has a slight different coloring. Cream splash, obviously, you can see on the picture. And yeah, from there, the next one that I would really like to get my hands on is like a variegated heartleaf philodendron. So just like this baby up at the front, but the variegated version. Obviously, I love a variegated plant. I think at this point that may go without saying. Now, the other thing that I love in plants is anytime it has a royal name, pink princess, Hoya crimson princess. We have a Hoya crimson queen down here if I reach for it. Whoop. Oh, I loved where you were placed. A Hoya crimson queen. I just love a plant with a royal name. And oh, who else is in there? Yes, I almost forgot one of my favorites ever. This gorgeous, stunning white knight plant that's totally on brand for me. If you want to know what type of plants I like, that's where it's at. So it only makes sense, of course, that I want the Royal Queen philodendron as well. And of course I do. Why would I not? Along those lines, but a little bit different, is also the Dark Lord. I really want those sort of gothic plants, if you will. I love my ZZ Raven, and I just think I will love the Royal Queen and the Dark Lord. Perfect. And I think a lot of people are wanting this plant, but it is so hard to find. Whenever you do, it is always very small and very expensive, even for some of like my favorite YouTubers that I have seen get these. I think I saw Harley G get one in a recent video. So this is the Strawberry Shake, and I just absolutely think those plants are gorgeous. I mean, you could sort of argue, someone might get mad at me for saying this, but that the Ring of Fire is very similar, and while certainly not free or cheap itself, it is much more affordable than the Strawberry Shake. So I've seen them sort of increase in popularity, but I think that it was actually, oh goodness, Kaylee Ellen, who said like that first, that basically she doesn't understand why the Ring of Fire, the philodendron Ring of Fire, isn't as popular as the Strawberry Shake. And I was tempted. I was tempted last night to buy a Ring of Fire, but the plant store I was looking at, only 2 of the 8 or so that they had on sale were peak quality, and because of how plant sales work, where they're basically sold out in seconds, I needed to focus on getting that Manjula I really wanted, so I didn't. By the time I was done buying the Manjula, all the other plants were sold out. Okay, and oh yeah, I cannot wait to get my hands on one of these babies, because as you already know how much I love my white knight and its beautiful white patches. So you know what's coming next. I need a white wizard, and I also need a white princess. I just think they're absolutely stunning. I love how the white wizard it's almost like in between, like if you were putting it on a little graph, you would put like white princess, then you would put white wizard in the middle, and then you would put white knight over here. And what I'm referring to is sort of like their leaf shape. Like the white princess to me very much does resemble the leaf shape of the pink princess. to me, that's exactly what you're hoping for, is this leaf shape, this sort of elongated one, whereas the Knight is quite circular, if you will. And then I find the Wizard is sort of in between. It's got like a very like circular base by the stem, and it becomes a little bit more elongated. So very much looking forward to having one of each of those, a white princess and a white wizard. Honestly, I would say now that I have the Manjula, those two are oh, but the cream, fuck, I want them all. All of the white variegation is highest on the list because I just love the way those plants look. So the cream / ZZ, all of the Gabby Rio pothos, as well as the white wizard and the white philodendron. Top of the list, white philodendron, white princess. Whereas, you know, maybe I could wait a tiny bit longer for the Royal Queen, the Dark Lord. They're like not as high on the list, but still stunning. Absolutely stunning. And then, so I mean, I think obviously at the top of my list is Monstera albo. I absolutely love the Monstera albo, but at this point, I wouldn't buy one myself. Number one, because of how expensive they are. Number two, because I see people who I feel are significantly more well-versed in plants than I struggle with those ones. I see people who have more than one Monstera albo struggle with new ones. It just seems like it's maybe a risky investment, even though I totally understand where the price is coming from, and I am never here to price shame. I have bought some expensive plants and I have bought some cheap, nearly free plants. But for me, even though it's on my wish list, I don't think I'll be buying it anytime soon. Whereas the final plant on my wish list, I think I'll just wait a little bit longer for. I don't know how publicly this gets talked about, but from my understanding, the Thai constellation is being produced via tissue culture, and while the release dates may be pushed back because of the pandemic, we were supposed to have those be released sort of mass market in 2021. It seems like at the latest by 2022, the Thai constellation will be available in a mass market way. So maybe reconsider spending hundreds of dollars, because you're talking about a producer who's potentially going to be selling wholesale to big box stores. So you could be talking about getting like a full size Monstera Thai constellation as big as my Monstera Deliciosa here for like $50. So yeah, for me, that's worth waiting, because you currently are seeing like baby Thais for hundreds. So I would much rather wait and get a nice, healthy, well-developed plant like this one for much, much less money. And yeah, here's the thing. Those aren't going to be the only plants that I buy by any means. Those are my wish list plants. Because even last night when I bought my Manjula pothos, I ended up throwing in some plants that I wasn't totally expecting to buy, but which also makes sense for who I am and the type of spots I have to put plants in, as far as lighting, etc. So I picked up a variegated peace lily, a white birds of paradise, and an albo jade plant as well. So I do buy plants that are not on my wish list. I just prioritize my wish list, and sometimes try to be less frivolous about what I buy so I can focus financially on buying the more expensive, desirable plants on my list. So why don't you tell me in the comments if any of the plants that are on my wish list are also on your wish list. And I would love to know if you have your eye on something so special. I would love to know what it is. I would love to know also where your favorite place is to shop for rare wish list plants, because I find that can be really hard to determine where is good, where is bad, where you trust, where never to buy from. Tell me, give me your feedback. I want to know. And I will be back with the next video soon, because as soon as Plant Runs brings me my new little plant haul from last night and from over the holiday break, I will want to show you them all. So stay tuned. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention, look at this cute little coconut coir pole that my pink princess is on from Climb Forest Climb. And again, you can check me out on Instagram, Miss Lindsay M, and I have all the details on this pole there, and lots of plant posts, lots of puppy posts, lots of photos in general. So come and follow me, please. And otherwise, I would love to see your comments. Please, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because if you love plants as much as I do, you can never subscribe to too many plant channels. Thank you for watching the whole video if you did. Thank you. Bye-bye.